So anyone listening to this on YouTube, what's up? You get to hear the pre-intro. Hang with me, because I'm a dumbass, and I don't know what to do anything. Making sure it's streaming before I act all cool. It's and say we live in the chat.
We good.
You might hear some. Ooh, I really hope it doesn't feedback. Why the fuck isn't my phone Wi-Fi connecting?
Oh.
Why aren't you connecting? There we go. For some reason, it just was like, nah, I'm not gonna find the internet.
Phone, you should connect to the Wi-Fi. Phone, no, I don't think I.
Is it not gonna let me connect?
Rip.
So whoever's listening to this on YouTube, which is probably a few of y'all,
Yeah.
you get to hear me ramble and make sure things are.
Side on. Let's see.
Let's see if this works. Well, that works. Is it streaming? You're gonna get some feedback, I bet. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it works. Fuck yeah. Cool.
Hey.
So now we can do the actual @channel. This is the process whenever that badmins type @channel. @channel. Send now. We live. Alright. Cool. Let's wait a second to let the people get in. The first annual AGML podcast mock draft. Come join us and see who you will pick. Alright. Now's a good time to start things off.
Yeah, lead us. Open us up, Tyler.
So this is the official, because I'm a badman, and Alex is a badman, and Josh is an ex-badman.
We've been wanting to do this
We're
for a while now.
Ex-badman.
We're the official. Hold on. Let's get the Austin quote out here.
Shit.
With you. Hold on.
Oh, I should probably mute my Slack before people go click, click, click all the time.
We're the official shitty league. Yeah, we're the official shitty league.
We're the
that we can go back to.
Perfect, guys. We got a role ironed out.
I'm sorry, Austin. I don't really hate you. I'm just giving you shit.
I'm Commissioner L.
I'm Commissioner Tyler. You get to hear what I sound like.
I'm some random DM. No experience
Fake
ever.
Josh.
Fake Josh here.
Bad Josh.
You may know me from my other account, also named Josh.
We're running through the first round of this 23 draft.
Yes.
It's a very defensive draft. I'm really excited to see some of the studs. I think it's going to be stud-filled. So, I guess where else to start except round one with the Australian himself, Jaguar. I can't say I'm going to say Jaguars because I'm Minnesotan, but Jaguars. I think I said
Jaguars,
it right.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I get in my head. Well, I think Jack has actually some really good building pieces, but I think he really needs one of three things. A couple linebackers, maybe some corners, or a safety. Luckily, there's one stud of a safety. Usually, I don't think you'd see safety going number one overall, but I think Benjamin Mumphrey, he's a stud. I think he's the best player in this draft. I think Jack will take him if he doesn't trade back.
Yeah, I also have Mumphrey. Again, I think the Jags should trade back. They've developed an insane young defense. I believe back-to-back defensive rookie of the year since he's been in the league. And adding on to that with probably the third rookie of the year with Mumphrey. He also has two young corners, both I believe 80 overall at 22 and 23. So that entire backfield coming into next year will be 21, 22, and 23 to build around for him.
Unlike you guys, I actually don't think Jaguars good trade back here. I think Benjamin Mumphrey is a next level player. I think he's going to dominate the league forever, and people are gonna really hate the day the Jaguars crafted him.
I agree. I mean,
I could see that, yeah.
why the fuck did this? What the hell is this Excel? There, more troubleshooting. But yeah, we all picked Mumphrey. I think that's a fair pick. Dude's, I mean, without spoiling much, in case you somehow didn't scout this monster, his whole combine's insane. The only thing he's not best at is his 40, which is still respectable. He's 21, and just all his over stats, like B plus pursuit, B plus hit, and B zone. I think it's everything you want in a corner, or not corner. Well, I'd want that in a corner too, but I want that in a strong safety. All right, going to number 2, we are going to the Redskins, new owner Redskins.
JPP, I believe, or DPP.
DPP, yeah, you know me.
Yes.
Basically, I think the Redskins, he can draft any player other than I think any player really other than even not
anywhere but quarterback.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I think wouldn't look
quarterback, maybe
bad.
Although he's looking to trade him.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. There's just he has so many needs. I'd probably trade it, especially in this draft. Trade a few spots down. Hope maybe get another pick to take another stud. I had a lot of different options. I was looking at maybe. I don't think any of the linebackers here are quite worthy of 1.2. Some of the ends are. I think some of the ends are, but ultimately, I'm going another defensive back with Byron Arnold here. I love him. His combine's great, especially at the 3-cone 20-yard shuttle. He's great in zone. I love him. He is 22, so not a 21, but I think he's a worthy 1.2 pick.
I agree with you, Tyler. The Redskins have one corner on their roster right now,
Yep.
59 overall corner. They need to take Arnold here. They need to start somewhere. And
I think Arnold's a stud.
I think 2 corners will certainly go a long way for them in the future.
I hate to sound like a broken record here, but I believe Byron Arnold really is the pick here.
Wow.
I think you guys had the best corner on the roster right now, 59 overall. And while that corner could probably play some slot corner, I don't think he's a long-term plan for the position. Arnold's got really good zone and man coverage, so I think he can play that lockdown man corner if you need him to. And he's 6'1", he's got really great height, especially for the corner position. I think he's the lockdown guy, and I think the Redskins need to focus on getting good key players and free agency and work on crafting great players. Hopefully the team can recover.
All right, on to number 3 with our boy Paul. Shout out to Paul in the chat.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's in the chat.
Hi, Paul.
No, he's not in the chat. He's playing Modern Warfare right now.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Austin.
Don't be listening to this and die.
Yeah, honestly, don't get distracted by all the campers.
Paul has some weaknesses, but I think overall his team's on the up and up. I still think he needs an end, and that's why, even though I think the end I picked is probably better in a 3 or 4-3, and I believe Paul's 3-4. I still think Jarrett Beck has, especially with his skills, can play.
I hate you guys.
All right.
I still think he can play 3-4. I love him. I think he goes number 3.
Ooh. Oh my god! Yeah,
we're in an infinite loop.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was checking because the Ravens said he couldn't get open. I hate you, Tyler. I also have Beck. Uh, I think Beck and Clark, as long as Kenny Clark is here, can really pressure the quarterback and take some pressure off of that back four, which he will have to address eventually, most likely in the next draft or two. But with Beck, at least it gives him a solid presence up front.
I want to shout out to in a different league, a wonderful player drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers named Joshua Beck, and I'm really glad that his cousin could get drafted so early in AGML. Just want to shout that out for him. He didn't play long for him,
Oh,
but Peck is a phenomenal finesse move, especially for an end. You'd really think you'd see more in a 4-3 end. But I think if you move him to 3-4 and bulk him up, he can play with the best of them. He got a 4.7 40, which is insane for a defensive end. His bench rep is 30, and what you see a lot with speed rushers is that they lose a lot of speed when they gain that power. And I think Peck is actually going to be able to keep the speed and the power. So I think it'll really solidify the Green Bay defense front.
well said.
All right. Next, we have Rob with his first of his 2 top 10 picks. Good moves, Rob. 2 thumbs up.
Gardner Minshew clap. Okay.
So, I mean, ideally, I think, Paul is probably the first person who, if there was a good quarterback, he would take him. Unfortunately, there is no good quarterback, and I don't think there's a quarterback should be taken anywhere near the top 10. So that leaves Rob with a few options. He has some weaknesses, especially at O-line linebacker, and I think he could use a corner or two. But here I think he takes the best linebacker, which in my opinion is Matthew Spears out of Louisville. Even though I don't think he's probably one of the best players in this draft, I think he's probably around his true talent will probably be around 10 to 12-ish in my opinion. He just has a great combine, young, some good at least his top 3 is pretty solid. I like him. I think Rob would get a solid player out of Matthew Spears.
I agree with you, Tyler. Again, I have Spears going at number 4. We saw Rob go out and sign Cox and Telvin Smith. We saw him grab Jamal Adams. He's really gearing up for a run in this division. I think it is starting to open up. I think the Broncos year was kind of a fluke. Cam Newton's going to continue to regress. Chiefs are a wild card with their new owner. And as long as he finds a quarterback later in the draft, I think they need a leader in the front 7, and that is Spears day 1.
Well, I'm glad I can finally disagree with you guys on this
Yeah.
Ooh, thank God.
I was gearing up to I hate you guys still. I actually have him going. I see him going the Al Davis approach. If you look at the scheme he's running, he has speed among anything. Speed. So I say he's going after the University of Central Florida speedster Tanner Sundberg. He's the pass coverage safety who ran a 4.6 40, a 7.1 free cone, which is just blazing fast, especially at the position. And he is a great go after the ball player. I think he could be moved more to a middle linebacker feel, just because he's more. I feel like he's more of a field general, speedy field general guy. But I don't like Spears this early. I'm not a huge fan of Spears and what he can produce. I have questions about him, especially since he's listed as a middle linebacker, and I just feel like if you don't play him at edge, you're not getting what you want. So, my pick there.
I dig it.
I see that. I would be fine with either, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
He just needs to fix this linebacking core.
So next up, we got Dylan with the number 5 pick. Again, Bengals have a lot of needs, and I think this is like the first draft in a while. At least it feels like it's the first draft in a while, where it's just a lot of decent O line. Not O line. Well, every draft has O line. Uh, uh, linebackers. And actually, I don't think I like Sundberg a lot. I think, but I think Bengals for his scheme like Shaughnessy more, Mason Shaughnessy out of uh, University of Southern Florida, not Central Florida. The other right outside linebacker, and I think it just fits him well. The dude his top three aren't quite as good as Sundberg's, but his combine is insane. I love the combine. He's just huge, got strong, really agile. I think he'd be a great fit for the Bengals.
For me, because Dylan has made it clear that he will just go best player available, I see that player being Ron Jones out of Tulane, the 21-year-old pass rusher. He has the best 20 shuttle. He's got A minus finesse moves coming out. He gets to fix something on that defensive line that's just a bunch of old people. Uh, and he does have some decently young linebackers that he can dev along with them. But again, he's gone best player available, and right now that'd be Jones for me.
Well, I have to disagree with that. I believe the actual best player here is Mason Hackney
I
out
agree.
of Southern Florida. He will be he has a very interesting set of skills in my opinion. He clocked in at the combine at 237 weight wise, but yeah, his ability to block the shed blocks of linemen coming down his throat trying to run on him really just amazes me for a person so small. He's a borderline safety that has made a name for himself stopping runs. He told multiple offensive guards that no, I am going to tackle this guy. I don't care how much bigger than you I am. And I think that's what the Bengals defense needs. The Bengals defense needs I am bigger than you in talent. I am bigger than you in strength, and I don't care how big you look. I will beat. I think that's the mentality that the Bengals need.
Yeah, I completely agree. I love Shaughnessy here, but let's be real, Ron Jones, I would take him in a heartbeat here as well. Both are fantastic
Ron Jones
players.
is leave it on my radar.
If you're picking this top 5, you're getting a stud of a player. I'll tell you that much. Looking at all these names, they're gonna be so good. I love them. All right, with number 6, we got Brian, the Seahawks. Um, I have him taking who Alex took with the 5th pick, Ron Jones. Ron Jones, he's one of the best speed rushers in this draft. I mean, Beck is another great rusher, and I think they're probably on par with each other. I could see either one of them being the higher overall. I see Ron Jones being a great pick for Brian. He's such a agile dude, A minus finesse moves, and he just has that really good awareness, and I think that will help a lot with his overall. I'm excited to see how he turns out, especially with that. I think he's a second round projected. See if he gets Dev.
For Brian, I have Sonberg coming out here, so didn't fall too far behind you guys. Bobby Wagner is getting older. They need a new leader. I think Sonberg fits right in for that, and Bobby Wagner gets to mentor him for a bit. He's got that great pass coverage, like you said, that amazing 40, that 20-yard. I think Brian would love to have Sonberg fall to him right here.
Oh,
Well, you guys are really, really gonna dislike this pick that I've got. I've got the first offensive player coming off the board here.
Really?
I really, with a Vernon Thomas.
Vernon?
He's the 21-year-old right guard out of Auburn. His footwork is phenomenal. I am hard pressed to find another right guard in the league that has this ability of footwork to absolutely demolish any rushing player.
Remind you of
Uh,
Quentin Nelson.
no, he's like Quentin Nelson's exact opposite, where Quentin Nelson has power and savageness. Vernon Thomas is the guy that he's gonna step around you, and by the time you get your feet set, the play's already over.
Yeah, Vernon Thomas is
Um,
a great O-line. I agree. I think that would not be a bad pick for Brian.
Mm-mm.
you got the early protected round, and I think he's the way to go here. Got to start rebuilding the Seahawk offensive line because they've never really had one.
Sweet. Next up, we have Ravens. Ravens addicted to Josh Rosen. I mean, I don't think you should move past Josh Rosen this draft. I'll tell you that much. Sticking with Josh Rosen's probably a good move this draft. Not gonna take quarterback. That's my bold statement of this draft. I think I'm the last person to have Sundberg go off the board here, but Sundberg is too good of a talent to pass up past 1-7. And like, let's be real, he could have gone at 1-5, even 1-4. I could see Rob taking him, but 1-7 is an absolute steal for Sundberg. I think just all this top level talent so good. It could just be all interchangeable based off scheme and just preference. But Sundberg, you guys already said why you love him. I think he's great.
I have the Ravens going Shaughnessy.
That's a
They
good
don't have
pick.
linebackers, again, just like the Seahawks. I believe the Ravens also were like low 20s in run defense, 31st against the run, and Shaughnessy comes in there and you probably make that a mid-tier defense, if not a top 10, just with his skill alone.
Well, I actually have Carlos Culver going here to the Ravens.
Okay.
He's the older run stopping D tackle out of Texas. I think that the perk you get here is that he's been around the game longer than a lot of these prospects, and that he knows, especially as a D tackle, he knows when the crap blocks are coming. He knows when the pulling guard is about to come and knock his clock off. And I think he's going to be the most ready for that. And I think he's going to be a big, bulky guy. And the Ravens can get like you said, their run defense is not the greatest,
Pair him
being
next to
31st in the league.
pair him next to Pierce for a few years as well. That's a dangerous interior line.
Mm-hmm.
It
Now,
is.
I love Carlos Culver. I don't think he'll go
Mhm.
here just because I think in this
Age.
league, people are spooked by the age. But, I mean, if why am I Kevin? What? I'm sorry, Kevin. Shout out to Kevin in the chat. If Kevin takes him, he's getting a stud. Whoever takes him is getting a great defensive tackle. I think he'll be able to last till at least really close to the end of this Madden before he starts to
Mhm.
really fall off. He should be a great player.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have Brady. And Brady, I mean, he does need a tight end pretty bad, but he did just sign one in free agency.
There's also really none in this draft class.
Yeah, there's that second rounder dude, the Army, I think he's from, but not really worth taking, I don't think. I think he's going to take the other stud safety. This dude's free safety. His name's Christian Davidson. I think he would fit really good on Brady's team. Brady's only a few pieces away, and I think a safety would be some really good help in the against the pass. He's a good zone dude, got great pursuit and hit power, and just another great combine. I don't think Brady would be making a mistake by taking Christian Davidson.
Tyler, I agree with you. I believe that Christian Davidson comes off the board to Brady. Looking at his backfield, he has two superstar corners, His starting corners have 92 speed, 90 speed, and then 88 in the slot. His safeties have 92 and 93 speed, but Josh Jones is getting up there in age. So you bring in a safety who's 21 that ran a 440 at the
It's
combine.
insane.
It's his backfield would just completely cover the entire last 50 yards of any field.
He got a 440 with a 23 rep bench, which for a free safety is fucking great. Oops, sorry,
And he'd add
Christian
to that
Minecraft
super
or Christian Madden.
he'd add to that stud young backfield that he's been building these last 2 years.
Well, so you guys don't saw my head off here. I agree. Davidson's definitely the pick here.
Bold statement there.
Only
Yeah.
the only slight I have against Davidson is that he's from South Carolina.
Mm.
I mean, that's probably a fair
South
slight.
Carolina play.
It is South Carolina.
But
Hey,
to
that's
be
been,
fair, this is
fun
the
for
draft
that.
where 3 of our top quarterbacks are from North Dakota State. So I believe this dude's a magical player. I think that give him 2 or 3 years, he's going to be on par with Benjamin Mumphrey for talent. But right now, I feel like this is a very good spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a young secondary. They don't really have to depend on him. They don't have to have him be a starting player. Obviously, he will start, but they don't have to. They don't have to like, hey, you're the face of our defense.
No.
I think that could be great for Davidson going on.
All right, next up we have Nick and the Colts at number 9. I really like the Colts here. I think their team has a lot of talent on it, and they really don't have many holes outside of the linebacker position. So I think here you have to take the best linebackers. And I think even though the age isn't pretty, he's 24 years old. Nick is like a piece or two away from being a great team, I think a contending team. And I think Jalen Bryan, the left outside linebacker out of Ohio State, again, there's so many combine studs so high up. This dude, I'm looking at his combine. There's no blemishes for his position. His age is only like if he was 21, I think he would be one of the most sought after picks this draft. But 24 is not pretty. But next, I think just a linebacker or two away from being a fantastic team. I also do like left guard Nicholas Witt here. I think he could pick him based off of name alone because that's almost his name. I think his last name is almost a little different. But Nicholas Witt, if you pick him, Nick, I'll let you change your name or his name to whatever you're. I think it's. I don't want to dox you, but I'll let you change your last name if you pick that left guard. But I don't think that's the right move. I think the right move is Jalen Bryan.
Tyler, I hear you, and again, I just feel like, especially in the top 10, age is such a huge factor
That's fair.
for our GMs. I love Brian. I do. I just think 24 is way too old, but I do have the Colts going linebacker. I have them going lock.
Mm-hmm.
21-year-old out of Stanford, so you know he's smart. He's got great hit power. And that's something that this defense needs to start doing, is producing turnovers in record numbers at this point to catch up with what they've been doing previously. Locke gives Darius Leonard some help as well. I think overall, I love Brian. I just don't think that the 24-year-old can go this high.
I totally get that.
I already see the 24-year-old gone off the board at this point. So that's my thing of that. I actually have Matthew Spears going here. You guys had him go a bit earlier, but I think this is a really good spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that run stopping potential. Just the way he can visualize and just watch the running back. Just the way that he watches their hips move is I think it's the best in the draft class at the linebacker position. He has the 4.6, 240 to back up. He can keep up with the best of them. He's not going to get beat on the outside from a running back. He's a huge 244 pounds, but the dude runs like he's 220 pounds. He's a fast, versatile player. I think he's gonna be a great fit here.
All right, next up is Rob's second pick, and I think Rob could do a lot with this. But looking at his O line, he still has a few holes, and I think Josh picked him a few picks earlier to Brian. I think Rob. Well, it depends on if Rob. There's some GMs who have the philosophy of no O line in the first, and I can understand that. But I think Vernon Thomas here is not a bad pick. I think he's one of the. He is the best line man in this draft, O line. And I think he'll be a stud for the rest of Madden for Rob if he picks him here.
I have to go with JoJo Glover in the top 10. Whatever quarterback that Rob ends up drafting in the 7th, because apparently that is a viable strategy now, will come in with a wide receiving core at 23, 24, and 21, all with speeds in the upper 90s. Like Josh alluded to earlier, Rob loves speed. Their offense was one of the worst, and having a young quarterback come in with those amounts of weapons would probably win MVP, is what we've seen last year almost happen with way worse weapons.
Well, I actually this is my dark horse for the draft. This is my favorite. This is my second favorite player besides Brian, the 24-year-old.
Mhm.
I have Renee Hendricks out of Michigan State going here.
Oh, I do like him. Okay.
I like Renee.
One, I think the musical possibility of that is amazing. So many jokes can be made off the last name Hendricks. I think he has to go here so I can do some so I can do some content with him as a player.
You can make jokes all along the watchtower, you know?
Kind of all along the watchtower. That was a great one. He has the hit power of a strong safety. He's been played in the box his entire career, and he has the pursuit knowledge to back that up. He's not the fastest available linebacker on my draft board right now, but I just think he's going to be an amazing player and look more terrifying than having somebody Jimmy Hendricks as they run past you for taking an interception back to the house.
Nice.
I like that pick. I think you had Rob going Sundberg, 2 linebackers. I think that's not a bad option for Rob to
with
just
how deep this linebacker class
right?
is. I think you grab
And
him
what
now.
he's done in terms of free agency and just adding on to that, he could have one of the best defenses next year.
Yeah, I
if he
love
does go that
Rob.
route.
Rob has so many options he can go with these 2 picks. He's in such a good position, especially hopefully on defense.
I hate it.
I think Rob can instantly make his defense an amazing defense for the rest of Madden here. I mean, I picked a guard, which, I mean, that's kind of, I guess, not what I'm saying. But, I mean, you can just do so much here. There's so many good players around 10 that are still available. Moving on to number 11 with Mike. I see Mike needing a free safety, but I think the 2 stud safeties are just gone. I don't think there's any comparable safeties past that. Same with DT O-line. DT's still a little old, but I think JoJo Glover, no, it's not Bizarre Adventure, it's not Siwa, it's JoJo Glover. Dude's a stud. Alex said it already. I love him. He's a little hidden. He's not quite as prominent. He's I think projected second.
After this.
Yeah, everyone knows about JoJo. But if you don't have him scouted, you're not going wide receiver. He's in the second. But yeah, he's just in the intermediate routes. He's just insane. He'll just make corners look silly at some of the routes he can run. I love him. I think Eagles, Mike, getting one of the best picks in this draft and probably one of the best wide receivers we've seen so far.
I wish that Mike could go away from his position of need, but he's shown that he needs to address that backfield by picking up AJ Boye. Definitely a band aid, probably not a good one. I think there's one more secret safety left, and that is Nelson Shelton. Great combine, ran 4.49, but a 4.17.20. And he's got, I don't know, he's got it. I've seen it. He's out of Texas A&M. He just seems to pump up the crowd. I kind of attribute that to like a Jamal Adams type of personality. And I think with that backfield where they don't know who's actually starting at this point, he can come in and at least calm the nerves for this Eagles defense.
Well, I feel like you guys really don't respect the offensive linemen that are available right now. And I can see that pick with Randall Chiavarani. He's the right tackle out of Georgia. I actually believe he should be moved to the interior because he's shown that his impact blocking is phenomenal. I think if you get him already fast 4.84 40, you get him wrapped around the center to blow up linebackers, that I think he can really be a great factor on the Eagles offensive line, where they have real no interior guys. He has one of the best benches for the position. He did almost 40 reps on it. He's going to be really high strength, and his footwork's phenomenal. I think he's definitely got to go before the top 15, and I think the Eagles take him here.
All right. Next with Kyle and the Bills. I love this Bills team, led by like Ed Oliver on the defense. It's stud filled, but I think it needs like just one or two more pieces on that defense to make it a really good contender. He could use one linebacker, and I think linebacker might be the smart move here. But I think Voshan Joseph can hold it down for him for the time being, where his right end specifically, is really dire. He has no one. He looks like he plays 4-3, so he can't really. It doesn't look like he could easily move a stud over there. I think he goes Keontae Riddick here. Not my favorite pick personally, but it's a pick of need, and I think for his position, where he's just a player or two off from being a great all-around team, I think Keontae Riddick's probably the right move for him here. I think that's it.
Somehow we find ourselves agreeing later on. I also have Riddick. I agree the Bills are shockingly very close. Their offense is obviously elite. Josh Allen has come out and proven that. But their defensive line outside of Ed Oliver is very sad. The linebacking core while lacks depth, does have great starters. And I think Riddick paired along Ed Oliver can give that front seven some legitimacy going forward.
I actually agree with you guys on this one.
Nice.
I know I sound very surprised about that, but I think what happened when they drafted Ed Oliver, they're like, okay, we're set. Our front seven is really good, and they turned out to not be so good. And I think Keontae Riddick is the best guy available here to pick up. We have he's listed as a right end for the combine. I think he's just heavy enough.
I think he slots it. Yeah,
I would personally start him at D tackle too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
4-3.
He's not at Arizona State. He wasn't known for being a flashy Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, pass rushing kind of guy. He was known for he set the eggs and nobody went past the eggs. I think that if you work with him a bit, he can perfectly be the D tackle too and completely dominate in the middle.
Oh well, our first agreeing pick since I think the third overall. Yeah, it looks like third overall. So next up we have newly brought back for real with the Bears.
For real this time.
Yes.
And I have him. He has a few needs. I think he's actually in a good position. I could see him again. There's a lot of like needs he could go, especially linebacker. And I think there's still two good linebackers that I haven't had taken: Renee Hendricks and Derek Locke. But O line is just another dire position. I think he takes another stud, Nicholas Witt. If Colts don't take his namesake, Nicholas Witt is an absolute stud. He's kind of the opposite of Vernon Thomas, where he's a bit more of a Quentin Nelson, just bruising kind of player. I think he'll win in the trenches and he'll make D line or defensive line days a living hell.
I can't believe how early. I love these offensive linemen. It's just this draft. I just see so many playmakers that I think that you can grab offensive linemen late first, early second, all the way down. I think that the Bears after this year are going to replace Trubisky, and I think they get him a weapon that isn't 28 or older. I think they go Dante Mills here, 21-year-old
Deep threat
out of
out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, the shifty. They have him as a deep threat. He's 5'10". I see with his shuttle, I see him as more of a slot guy to start his career, and then he can work his way outside as he gets more accumulative to the NFL speed. But great catching, great release. His route running is superb. And whatever quarterback that they end up taking is going to love him coming forward.
Well, in my opinion, whatever quarterback the Bears do end up taking, you don't want a Seattle Seahawks situation where you force your quarterback into being that only playmaker on the field. So I think they're going to take the athletic freak that is Marcus Lucas out of UCLA. He registered a 7.0 combine score, and that is the highest combine score I have ever seen for a offensive lineman. He did 39 reps on the bench. His first cone 20, Brogsnump and Vert are all first in the left tackle position. He is a solid blocker, pass or run. So whatever the Bears decide to base their offense on, Marcus Lucas will be the anchor for that offense.
Okay.
Next up, we have number 14 with Wiley as the Falcons. I think he has, again, there's just a lot who needs linebackers, but specifically outside. And I don't think Hendricks and Locke, either one of them, look great at outside linebacker if you move them. I think they're really good at playing in the middles. So I think Wiley here, he needs a tackle really bad. And I think Josh had a really good analysis of Lucas. I think Lucas here, just an huge. He's just a human specimen. He's just insane. I don't know. I've never seen O-line this. Like, he just lifts shit. He's fast. Like, he's so strong. He's so fast. He's so agile. He just does it all. I think Lucas here makes so much sense, especially in this NFC South with some pretty good pass rushers, such as Sharif Watson, the DT. See him. You need to beef up your O-line.
Once again, I have completely undersold on offensive linemen. Again, I feel that an early first, mid first offensive lineman is a bit of a stretch. I think playmakers deserve to carry that weight. James Starkey has been carrying this sad Falcons offense for the last 2 years. I think he needs someone in the backfield that he can lean on. And I'm going with Hampton.
Brock?
And I think that, yeah,
No.
Brock Hampton, Braden Hampton. If you want it as, if Nick can change that guard's name, go ahead and change him to Brock Hampton.
Yeah,
all right?
Braden Hampton's pretty good carrying.
Yeah, Braden Hampton's not going to turn the ball over. He knows where to find the holes. Their offensive line is shaky, but I think the Falcons can address that later on in the draft. He's got great tackle, great elusiveness. We got to see if he can catch out of the backfield. He really wasn't asked to do that much at Clemson. But I think Falcons take a shot here at Hampton at 14.
That's I'm not a fan of the Hampton pick personally. I just don't think he has the size necessary to be the running back the Falcons need. I think the Falcons need a heavier running back. But Hampton's the only running back actually viable as a first round pick. Now I actually have here on my mock Jalen Bryant. He's the old guy out of Ohio State. I messed up earlier saying I thought he was where I took him, but I actually never said for him to go anywhere. That is a complete error on my part, and according to my mock here, the Falcons have, in my opinion, the steal of the draft for what I consider the best player. His hit power is phenomenal. He's missed 2 tackles in his career, it feels like, at Ohio State. He's been the backside anchor for that entire defense. That is a very good defense. He's just been the backside of the strong side of it. He's just everywhere on that defense, and he can get to the ball carrier. And I just feel like he's just the best player in the draft outside of Mr. 1.1.
Yeah, I love Jalen. I think I picked him. I had him going to the Colts. So yeah, that's a 5
Yeah, I'm
positions.
not sure where my disconnect went there. He is my favorite guy.
But yeah, I love him. He's
the
a great
draft.
dude. I can't wait to see how he turns out. Next up, we have the G-Men. Chris has a few options here. I think he has 2 picks. Yeah, he has 2 picks. Sandwiching the Rams. Yeah, he's a few needs. I think he's gonna pick with both these picks. One linebacker and 1 corner. I think he's gonna take Renee Hendricks here. Renee Hendricks, just another. I mean, you can make Jimi Hendrix puns like Josh said. That's just a quality in and of itself.
That's
But
all you need.
outside of Jimi
Doesn't even have to be a
Hendrix
good football player.
puns, he just has
All you
great
need is a fun.
measurables. Here, let me pull them up quick so I can give you accurate information because we only provide the best here at AGML. Yeah, he's
Got a 4.64 40.
yeah, he's got some really good bench press. He's really fast. He's really I've said that like about everyone. And this top half of the
That's
draft
just 'cause
is
This is a
so
great linebacker
freaking.
core.
these defensive players are just that good.
They're like, usually you see the combine freaks having no stats and are just trash.
Yeah.
Here they're both, and I love them all. I want them, and I hope
I want
one
it
falls
straight
to
up.
here. But Renee Hendricks is a stud. I'm excited for the Giants to finally start to solidify that team, and hope or not rookie anymore. He's not been a rookie for years. That quarterback, hopefully, he can get him going.
I look at this Giants team, and their offense is there. They've built a great offense around Bishop. Their defense has consistently disappointed them. We saw that in Week 1 against the Cowboys, where he just lit them up. And I think it starts in that backfield with their starters all being 65 or under overall. So while not the best pick available, I think that the Giants need to address corner, and that is with Langford, the Ohio State not big man, he's 5'10". The Ohio State slot corner, top 5 measurables and all down the board. Great awareness, great play recognition. He reads the quarterback's eyes. He's there where you need him. He can produce a bunch of turnovers. He led Ohio State the last 2 years in turnovers. And I think he comes into the Giants and helps them take down this dominant Cowboys team.
I agree with you. I think Floyd Langford is the pick here. My only concern with Langford is he's never been asked to be that corner 1. I don't think he can be that corner 1, honestly.
No.
If you look back at most of his interceptions, a lot of it was off of holy cow, there was a guy there. And I just don't think he can produce that as a corner one. So I believe that if you draft Langford, you're really committing him to be your slot corner,
Yeah.
which is really odd because he's considered more of a zone archetype. But he's a great college player.
I think he's close.
I'm not
I
sure
think
how
he's
he's.
close.
I'm not sure how he's going to work as a slot corner in the NFL.
All right, now we get the meat of the sandwich with Rams. It's not that funny. Maybe it is. Rams. No other one. We have. I think
The
he needs
villain.
two. He's a pretty nice dude. I like him. He's a fun
I like him.
competitor. I like him a lot. Adds a lot to the league.
Love
DT.
it.
I think he needs either DT or wide receiver. His core is just
Mhm.
not that good without Cooks, and I think he needs someone to throw to. But that DT just has no one there, and he doesn't have like an end that can really move. Maybe he has an end he can move in there, but I think with
I heard
Carlos
Aaron Donald
Culliver
is a
here,
bit different.
like Culliver's just so good here. I think you have, even if he's a little old, he's just such a stud. You can make that D line insane with Culliver, and I think that would be too hard to pass up, especially with JoJo off the board when you're not getting that top end receiver. I think going with Culliver, even if he's a bit old, great pick here.
Tyler, I agree with you 100%. Culliver is my pick. So strong. Yes, he's old, but he has that experience. He gets to sit right next to Aaron Donald, both on the field and in the film room. That will completely blow up quarterbacks. And with how shaky that NFC West is, I think this is the perfect time to really beef up that defensive line again.
Well, I would like to halfway agree, guys. I can't have the Rams take Cole over here because he's already done signing a deal for the Ravens, who took him at 7. I actually have them taking the next best D tackle available in Joe Hacker, who I think he's going pretty under the radar for a lot of this. His finesse moves are phenomenal. All of the scouting tape I've seen compare his finesse moves to Elvis Presley.
Nice.
And that's how smooth of a guy he is. He has the speed to run down running backs that somehow get away from what's going to be Aaron Donald and him. And I think he has the talent to where instead of the Rams being Aaron Donald and Hacker, it could be Hacker and Donald.
I agree. Like if Culliver's not there, Hatcher's a fantastic choice for the
D
Rams.
line. D line for the Rams for sure.
Next up, we have the other end of the Chris sandwich with the Giants are back up. And I think you guys took Langford before. I think Langford goes with a second pick to make sure that the Rams just don't steal him or steal that linebacker. But yeah, I think Langford is an important choice for the Giants with basically not much there.
Yeah, because I had the Giants go Langford, that kind of dries up the entire backfield. While their offense is looking elite, they're also old. Their youngest receiver is 30, and they're only going to get older. I think Ricky Bishop needs a weapon, and I believe that weapon will be Atkins. He's a safe pick. Great hands, great catch in traffic, great spec catch, great release, smart guy. Not very keen on getting separation, but I believe that if Bishop can put him in the right windows, Atkins will produce for him 100% of the time. I see him kind of as a Larry Fitzgerald, but without the speed that Larry had coming out.
Well, I actually agree with your pick there. I believe Atkins is going to be a very, very, very good wide receiver. He's just such a physical player. He, like you said, he doesn't have separation problems, but corners have physicality problems playing against it, and I think that's his biggest upside. He's a very strong wide receiver. He has hands like no one else, and if you're not playing zone against him, he's probably getting the ball off,
Mhm.
and he's probably going down for 5 to 10 yards. He's an Alabama man, so all the physicality and the Alabama spirit that always gets talked about. I think he'll have that coming into him, and I think a Bishop to Atkins connection could be tearing up the league for quite a while.
I can't wait to see him trading jerseys. Whenever he plays wait, never mind. Cowboys don't have Cooper anymore. But whenever he plays Amari Cooper, you're gonna swap jerseys. The two Alabama boys. I think they're actually a lot alike. I love Cooper, and I think Atkins, even though I don't have him going here, Atkins is a good pick. I like that wide receiver. Next up, we have the awful, terrible, no good Buccaneers.
Not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. Too committed to McCarron, trash quarterback. There's trash everywhere.
Actually, I've been taking quarterback.
Yeah, smart pick. McCarron's not the future. Anyways, I don't know. Like, when I mocked this, I had Derek Locke somehow falling this far, and looking, it's like somehow he falls down, but just too many picks in need. But Derek Locke, if he finds his way here, I will gladly take him.
I agree with the Derek Locke pick here. Actually,
If he's here,
I think the problem with Locke is that there's so many more athletic linebackers available that I just think him as a slower field general is going to plummet down the draft ranks because everyone's going to say, "Oh, well, why take Derek Locke when you get a Tanner Thunderberg? Why take Derek Locke when Matthew Spears is available?" I just think all the other linebackers have that more athletic up Tanner compared to Derek Locke, where he's more of a technique-based player.
And in the late teens, good.
Yeah.
I think it's a good pick. Sorry.
So, no, you're fine. Brian had to go somewhere. Tyler has shown a keen eye.
So low.
Age, man. Age just has me against him, man.
I can't way higher when I had him up for only 3 picks higher.
For sure. Yeah.
I had him at number 9, though. So
I think Tyler takes another 24-year-old. The Bucs were so close to making the playoffs.
We were a punt block away.
Yep.
From making it.
And they need some linebacking help for sure. They have Devin White and a bunch of old players that are regressing.
We have Anthony Barr in our retirement home now.
At 31.
I think he's a stud, though. I think Anthony Barr. I think he sims well, but this isn't an Anthony Barr podcast. This is a draft podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anthony Barr brought.
I do appreciate your linebacker picks. I would love to take Jalen Bryan if he falls to me, and I would love to take Derek Locke if he falls to me.
Yeah, I think linebacker will set you apart, Tyler. And maybe make that push, especially in that competitive South.
Next up, we have the second pick by the Bengals, Dylan. And I have him going O-line here. He can pick everything, so probably shouldn't pick O-line, but O-line is always a need for a lot of these teams. And Stephon Mosley here, I love Stephon Mosley. His age is a little up there, but he still is such a quick dude. There's so many quick people in this draft. This guy, he's always gonna, if he's not gonna get you a false start, he's gonna make sure he ties up whatever tackle he's against. I think Stephon Mosley's a smart pick here to protect. Who's the Bengals quarterback now? I have no clue.
Daniel Jones now.
Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones needs a protector. And whatever, if he wants to go with that in the future, sure. Or if he wants to pick a new quarterback whenever there's not a trash class, that quarterback is going to appreciate Stephon.
Yes. I had the Bengals taking Jones earlier, and I think they doubled down in this front seven and they get Hendricks. You guys have spoken about Hendricks before. I think he falls a little later than you guys do. I just think there's more needs
People
up
don't
top.
appreciate the name.
Yeah, people didn't appreciate it. I didn't even see it when I was reading this out, but that's just who I am. Uh, there's nothing more that needs to be said that you guys haven't had touched on in Kendrick, so I'll pass it to Josh.
Well, my problem with Daniel being starting quarterback of a team, I don't believe he can have any deep threat wide receivers because I don't believe the offensive line is there for him to be able to wait long to throw it. Now, this sounds like I'm going offensive lineman, but I actually have them going Carl Drake, the physical wide receiver out of Michigan.
I dig.
He's a very young player who has shown a very nose forward kind of guy. He catches the ball. He doesn't fall forward. He doesn't fall backwards. He doesn't get pushed back. He catches the ball. He gets wrapped up. He still goes for 1 or 2 yards. I think that hard nosed downfield kind of running guy is the player they needed for the team. I feel like it's needed position. Wide receivers, you got 3 top guys, 4 top guys. I was thinking about Zozo, and I think Carl Drake is a great receiver, and he's young, so he'll be around for quite a while.
I dig. Next up we have the newly acquired Chiefs owner, Brent, good old Packers fan. We needed that after Alen's been gone. We really needed someone to oppose our FTPs because it's kind of unchecked, right? It was unchecked for the longest time, and it's nice to get a GPG response. In response to the FTPs. Here, I think he allegedly said Raptors kid left him some good scouting. So good on Raptors kid. I think if Raptors kid
Raptors
did his homework and found the stud, I think he's gonna go with the right tackle out of Iowa, good old farmer boy, Armand Tobias. He is a right tackle. Not quite a physical specimen as the previous O-line, but really that Raptors kid, although he did scouting, I don't really like how he left that team. There's a lot of holes, but I think a good tackle to make sure Mahomes has time so he can actually use that contract efficiently is a smart move here. So yeah, Tobias. Not Funke, but Armand Tobias.
I have finally an O-lineman coming off. I looked at this team. I really didn't see another position of need that they really needed to address right away that had any viable starters left. So I have Marcus Lucas going off the board here. Great left tackle. You guys, great player. I think protecting Mahomes' blind side should be number one. And then probably trading back in and getting another linebacker should be a part of this Chiefs draft board here because they really need it.
Well, I originally had them going Dante Mills, but I missed one of their transactions in free agency.
Julio Jones.
They picked up both. They picked up both Julio Jones and McCall Hart.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I thought they re-signed McCall Hartman.
No, he was a free agent.
Oh, was he? Oh, okay.
He visited the Jets for a bit. They decided it wasn't a deal they wanted. His slowest starting wide receiver is Bennett Palmer, and he has 90 speed, and he's their wide receiver 4.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
No, it's insane.
Hill, Jones, speed. Hardman. Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is an insane lineup. And I think the best way to target this is doing something I despise doing in any league. They have Melvin Gordon at running.
First round running back.
Okay.
Melvin Gordon is an amazing running back. he has a fumble problem.
Yes.
In his career, he has 7 or 8 fumbles, 3 of which have cost them actual game, which have cost teams he's played for a game. He fumbled twice with the Chargers and 3 times so far with the Chiefs. I think you have to get surefire hands from Braden Hampton. I believe he's not going to fumble the ball when you need it. He can get you those 2 or 3 yards that I'm not sure you can trust Melvin Gordon with anymore. He is an amazing player. He is an amazing player. He's 30 years old now. And eventually I think you have to have a backup plan for him. Running backs don't last this long.
For sure. I like Hampton a lot, actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I've not picked him, but I think that's not because of the talent, but rather just because I think there's just so
Running
many
back in
other
the first round.
needs. And yeah. Good job, Brent. I'm excited to see how cheesy Mahomes will be with that receiving card.
Yeah.
That's so cheese. God, I'm looking
Terrifying,
at it.
right?
You got Mahomes just chucking the ball to everyone. It's like, okay, it's broke, but we'll deal with it.
And think if Braden Hampton had hands. I think it's league over.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we have For Real's second pick. I had him going with Nick Witt. With the first pick, you guys had him with Dante Mills, Alex, and then Marcus Lucas. And I like both those picks. I think, well, just based off need, I think somehow Dante Mills will fall here, and For Real will be able and will be very smart to pick up Dante Mills, who would be an absolute stud for the Bears, and hopefully give either Trubisky or whoever they want to throw at him a good target. And yeah, I don't know. He's just, let me pull him up. He's just, I think, the second best receiver in this class. He's no JoJo. JoJo's one of the best we've seen, but he's a solid, good pick.
So for the meme, I did mock a quarterback, but I will change that because I'm not an idiot. I think the run on offensive linemen starts here. Lucas went to the Chiefs. I think Shaverini follows. They still need to address quarterback at some point in the draft, but now he has a stout young wide receiver in Mills and a stout right tackle as well to follow with it.
Oh, sorry, that's my cue.
Right, yeah, that's a
cue.
cue.
Sorry. I'm making sure I'm not repeating any of these picks here. I already had them take offensive linemen with the Marcus Lucas pick.
Mm-hmm.
I actually do have them taking Dante Mills here.
It's a good pick.
Because
Yep.
I just don't think he can fall any further.
Yeah.
I really, 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 really did really want to see him on the Chiefs, but with Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, and Hardman, I don't think they need him here, and I think the Bears can be very happy with the signing of Julio Jones, as long as they don't face each other later on in the year.
Yeah.
Next up, at 22, we have the Bills for the second time. We probably will see him again later in the draft, but we'll see. We'll have, you guys already picked him. I think Braden Hampton falls here. Not because of his talent. I think he could be, or he will be a great back, but I think just everyone above him has other needs that aren't running back or already has a stud running back. So I think the Bills have 78 overall, Kenyon Drake, who's getting old. And I think Hampton, again, if you get that defense just a little more solid, Hampton can be that guy who will ignite that offense, or that's already firing on all cylinders. I think Hampton just makes that team electric. Love it here at 22.
I have the Bills going offense. I have them taking Carl Drake,
Mhm.
21-year-old out of Michigan, very physical receiver. Their offense does look really good. I just think that Josh Allen wants someone that he can work with and grow with. He's already 27. His receivers are still
Is there
older
like
than
a
him.
personal connection? Like you texted him about it? Like, you know what I want?
Yeah.
What I want is a new pair of shorts.
Not not great showing at the combine. I think that's why he falls. I think if he had any sort of combine ability, he'd skyrocket up for me. Uh, I think Carl Drake has good hands, good release, good catch of traffic. I think he falls here.
Well, I actually have them going defense here. I'm looking at their strong safety position. They have a
Mm-hmm.
33-year-old Jordan Poyer start,
Yes.
and to me, that raises a couple red flags. And in order to kind of shove those red flags into the closet for another, I think they take Nelson Shelton here, the free safety out of Texas A&M.
God, you had him fall. Holy shit.
Um, I have him going here, mainly again, kind of how we had that linebacker falling, just because there's other corners and safeties to take. I have him falling this far, mainly because he's a free safety, and there's not a lot of need at the free safety position. But I think that if they work with him, I think he could be a very solid, strong safety, and he's faster than what Gordon Poirier could be. So that's why I have him here. Quick agile guy.
Next up at 23, we have the Steel Curtain, Dustin. Who shout out to Dustin. He put together this mock I used to make I changed the needs. I think I started before he put his needs, but did a great job with that tool. He put the needs in for the people, he put the schemes in for the people, he put the picks in for the people. Love you, Dustin. Shout out. And yeah, I think
Thank you, Dustin.
um see, I may or may not, I think Nelson Shelton, he just goes under the radar. He just, that run is just
Y'all.
so much need. And Dustin really needs a safety. He just has not that much, and I think Shelton just falls here either because of ignorance or because of other more priority needs.
Uh, the Steelers, so close. We were all rooting for them in the wild card round. Came down to Tato Magic, as always. They need to protect Andrew Luck. He's only getting older. They obviously have the offensive firepower. They just need time for him to get there. So I have them taking Wit. You guys again talked about his physical specimen that he is. There's a lot of physical specimen at O line, especially later. And I think that they take him here to fix up that interior and make sure that Luck is not getting pressured right up the middle.
I have
Oh,
Rip. Wait,
Josh, did we lose you?
Josh?
Josh, I think we might have lost you there.
Oh no.
Oh,
Okay, I heard a mic noise.
I heard a mic as well. Hello,
okay.
Josh.
You're back.
All
Maybe.
right, so pretty much start from scratch because we heard nothing.
Oh, he's gone. He
Dang
gone.
it.
Do we want to
All
wait a
right.
second? Oh, there he's back. More technical difficulties. I apologize for
Am I
the
back? I'm
fans.
back. Okay,
You're
cool.
back.
We'll fix it in
Sorry
post.
about that, guys. Not sure why my super high tech laptop, but totally not my phone, just crapped out on me there. I actually have Nicholas Witt going here as well.
Okay.
Ooh, wait. Oh, you didn't pick him.
I did not have him going earlier. I heard you say I had him going earlier. I have yet to talk about Nicholas Witt. The main thing I like about Nicholas Witt is that he has 40 reps on the bench, and I can always respect a guy who can push some weight around.
I mean, I had him going 13. Maybe that's a bit high, but I think he's a stud. I think Dawson is getting one of the best O line this draft if Witt falls to him.
Yeah.
Next up,
Moving on
we
to-
have another no good, horrible, awful team at
Yeah.
24.
Who forgets to start their superstar wide receiver?
Who
Keenan
advances
Allen.
late?
Now, I had some text messages from Keenan Allen, and he head scratching why he even sat out in week 17. He's not sure what the coaching decision about that was. He tried calling you, but he's gotten no answers.
I don't want it.
He went by your office and like he said as soon as he walked by, like the curtains were slammed shut, lights were turned off, and whenever he knocked on the door, he was like, "Nobody's home. Go away."
Sounds like me.
Anyway, on to the pick.
And I think for me, I have the Chargers. Really, I think the D line is where they need to go. They have some decent D line pieces already, but I think picking Joe Hatcher here for the Chargers is a great move. I don't even know if he's going to play DT like he played in college at Oregon, but I think he could be moved. He's a speed rusher. He has A-minus finesse moves. That's just so good, especially at DT. So I think you could move him to edge. Yeah, I think Joe Hatcher is a great pick here and hopefully solidify that Chargers defense, and let's see if Jamario can make a deeper run with them.
Tyler, I agree with you. I had the Chargers going with Hatcher. For the Chargers traded away Joey Bosa early on, trying to make a run. What?
Rip Joey Bosa.
Yeah, or he traded them to the Vikings early on, trying to make a run. It didn't work out, and since then, the Chargers have been abysmal pressure-wise for the last 2 to 3 seasons, and they tried to address that in Sal as the next man up to try and address that problem.
Well, I agree. D tackle is always a need for almost any team ever. You can never have enough rotational guys. And I think that the speedy Chad Knapp out of Boston College
is going
to fill that role.
Chad, yeah.
He's a Chad. I think he's coming as a star from a smaller college. I think he's either going to get thrown on his ass. Sorry, I'm calling it as I see it. Or he's going to come in and dominate the league. I don't think there's going to be any in between. He's a power rushing D tackle. He bull rushes. He does everything, but he has this ability on screens that he can tell when the screen is going to be coming. Like he can tell when the offensive line is like releasing him, and he has the speed and the agility to still go make plays based off of what he can. And I think that's why he's going to be he's my boomer bust of the draft. I think he's going to be an awful player, or he's going to be one of the greatest.
Well, you know how I am with development.
Let the computer pick.
Yeah, honestly. Hey, X Factor.
Next up, we got the good old 49ers. Impressing many. I think many people in the chat, we saw it today, they are outraged that no dev was given to the wonderful, the great, the iconic Emmett Herron. I think Emmett Herron, he proved that just because you're a 7th round quarterback, or I think he's 7th.
Yeah, he's 7th.
Yeah, doesn't mean you can't play. And yeah, he almost won MVP. Now, I think he might have won MVP if he had just a couple weapons. Just a few more weapons. And that's why I have the 49ers taking wide receiver Damon Atkins here. I think he falls just a bit farther than you guys. But if Damon Atkins is here, I think it's an instant pick for the 49ers at this spot.
I do agree with you that the 49ers need to address weapons. I'm shocked they didn't make more of a push for Julio Jones of all players, or Brandon Cooks for that matter.
Let him go for the Chiefs.
What was that?
Julio goes on the Chiefs. I'm still in awe how that happened.
Right? No, exactly. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that Twinkie did not. At least Brandon Cooks didn't make it there. Jesus.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. I think that all the top 4 wide receivers already gone for me. So they reach and they go for Mike Kemp out of California, stays home. Young, good release, good catching. Just a weapon that Heron can connect with is all he needs, really.
I'm kind of sound like a broken record here, but wide receiver, I don't feel like they absolutely need wide receiver, but I've heard you guys talk this guy up so much that I can't have him fall any further. I've got a Go Glover wearing
What?
49ers uniform.
Oh, I see. That's right. That's what I remember now. I remember why.
I actually do not have this guy scouted, but you guys have talked him up so much.
I mean,
And looking at what he has, I think any team could be lucky to have this guy.
He's a stud.
He's so good.
He's so fucking good.
Twinkie,
Just here looking at his combine, that his agility has to be off the charts, and to also have one of the top agility scores for a wide receiver, and to also have 23 reps on the bench press. I said it earlier with Wit that I can respect strength. I respect strength even more when it's at a position that you typically don't look at strength.
The only issue.
I want to put this out there. If JoJo Glover somehow falls to you, you don't pick him. You're out of the league. As a commissioner.
I mean, he won't fall to you because I will pick him at 18.
Yeah.
I will for sure pick him at 18. Sorry, Josh, your pick is busted.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a busted one. But I guess we're not
the only thing I have concern about with JoJo is his speed is okay. It's 4.54.
He's a slot guy. Yeah.
But even then, I think 4. It's not that speed doesn't kill him. Like, it's okay speed. It's just not quite the top end you might want with those intermediate range skills. But he's still a stud. I couldn't see him falling this far. Next up, we have Utch. Shout out to Utch, the history teacher. Good old Utch. He's picking at 26, and I have. You guys already picked him, but I don't think Schiavorini is that good compared to the other O-line in this draft. So I have Schiavorini falling here. I still think Schiavorini. I think that's how you pronounce it. Maybe Schiavorini, whatever. He's still a stud. I think this O-line class is really solid in general. He has really good physicals too, but I think he's not the best O-line, and he'll fall to Utch. But at 26, I would not complain about getting an O-line of his talents here.
I like your pick outside of the fact that Utch does have his tackles locked in for the next few years. They are older.
I don't think he'd play him at right tackle, but yeah.
Probably shift it. Yeah, he can definitely shift.
I think he'd move someone around. I think that's how it would make the most sense. But Utch needs some, and all the best guards are already gone on my board, so that's why I picked Schiavorini. But you have some still guards left.
I have Utch going with young, good run blocking, great pass blocking. Both of his pass blocking.
Vernon Thomas is available on your draft board.
Remember, I really undervalued O-line.
Yeah, Vernon Thomas. Yeah, Vernon Thomas is good.
He's really good. He'll
if Utch gets Vernon Thomas again
with Kareem Hunt going up the middle is going to be insane. someone needs to take
That-
down Tato.
That would be insane.
Again, I undervalued O-line. I still undervalue O-line. Go ahead, Josh.
That's fair. Reeling after the Thomas being available part.
Just you wait till the next one.
I've got Kevin Moss going here. He's a very under the radar guy, but I think he has very good agility for the rank that he had, for the rank in the draft that the other people have him. I think he's going to be a very good plug and play secondary guy, and I think he's going to be a piece that you're going to be upset that you passed on him when he's running the ball back.
Wait, so who? Sorry, I missed him.
Kevin Moss.
Kevin Moss
He's the known free safety out of Wake Forest.
Oh, sure. That's why I don't have any scout.
Yeah,
So,
I don't have.
I don't have, so I can't give a good opinion
Yep.
on him.
Mhm.
I can't agree or
Yep.
disagree, but I trust your judgment. Kevin Moss is probably a cousin of Randy Moss. Maybe
Or maybe
Maybe.
a
Randy
strange
Gross?
child. Well, I mean, it's 20. I mean, it's 20.
Randy
It
Moss
could be-
reincarnated.
I believe Kevin Moss could be like his forgotten son.
I mean, Moss has his kid going to LSU right now. So
That's why it's the
possible.
forgotten son.
yeah.
He's the one no one talks about.
Yeah, no one. Of course, we have the LSU.
Some
Moss.
decent, solid options here for Utch. Next up, we have the second Twinkie pick. And I had him going wide receiver with the first, and I don't think he's going to double dip at 27 with wide receiver. However, I think this is a bit of a strange pick. Maybe not the best pick. Especially, he solidified his corners in the free agency, but they're ancient. They're dinos. So I think he has the luxury of picking Deion Rose here. Corner out of
Deion.
Florida. He's great at man, just is a little raw and everything else. But you pick Deion, you have a couple years to develop him. So by the time the dinosaurs get out of there, he's a solid corner. I think Deion Rose is the pick here just because, the corners are too old.
The potential upside.
All right.
He's 6'1" too.
Yes. So, Josh, you were floored by Thomas still being available. Wait till you find
Who
out
were you-
that my boy
Who are you? What do you do?
Alvarado is also still available and falls all the way to
Wait.
27.
Say that one more time. I want this for the
Alvarado.
record.
Alvarado will still be available at 27 for the 49ers. So I think there's just too much talent elsewhere for people to take O linemen outside of the late 20s, late 18s, stuff like that. Too talented up top for O linemen to be picked and not be reached. They have good interior linemen. The one question mark is at left guard at Forrest Lamp. And Alvarado just comes in and replaces them easily, putting a great front five ahead of Heron for the foreseeable future. Oh, and that's right, he has Troy Young as well, the young running back. Oh wow, that's a interesting team.
I'm leaning more towards the Deion Rose pick here. I think the reasoning given for it was very solid. In my opinion, he has a lot of the immeasurables that you really can't teach anyone. You can't teach being 6'1". You can't teach a 4.4 40. And I think that, yes, he's a very raw prospect, but I think the 49ers are in a very good spot now. That developing a corner to eventually replace the bandages. They're told you can't call them band-aids. Player that they have at the secondary. Deion Rose can develop very nicely.
All right, next up, we have this is the second Redskins pick. He has another coming up pretty shortly. Again, he has
Second
a
of
lot
three, I
of
believe.
issues. Just a lot of issues here. He can go basically everything. I think a lot of the positions, the wells, are finally starting to get dry. There's just not as much talent around as there was the first time. I mean, the first time he picked, he was second, so he had like so much talent to pick from. But I think here, if he picks Kent Gunter, I'm gonna pronounce him Gunter like it's a German last name. Kent Gunter, the right tackle out of Louisville, I think he would not be ashamed. He has Gunter has some really good bench prep. He's another 39 dude. Josh probably approves. I think 39 is a pretty good bench rep.
Very, very good bench press.
And he just has some good agility to go along with it. I think here, the Redskins would have a pretty good O-line to help keep their newly signed quarterback safe.
Tyler, I agree with you. I think they go offensive lineman. I have Stephon Mosley.
I like Mosley.
Here.
Why did
Yes, I know.
pick
Again,
Mosley?
you guys had him up, I believe, in the teens. But I think Mosley goes here. I actually have them little hint double dipping in O lineman later on. Yeah, I think they go Mosley here.
I'm not a huge fan of Mosley over Gunter, but I do believe Mosley's the better of the two picks. For right now, I need an offensive lineman, but I think the strength is so essential for an offensive lineman that I just like Gunter better here in the pick. He's younger. He played in Louisville, which have a very, very similar system the Redskins already run. He won't have to do learning new protections or anything. And I just think he's the stronger, better choice here for the long term. I think that's what you need for your 5th round pick. Is long-term viability.
Next up, at 29, we have the third Bills pick. And again, I think Bills, with these 3 picks, I think it changes their entire trajectory throughout AGML for the rest of Madden. 3 picks with, however, like, his team is so good. And I think there's still some stud receivers left. And I mean, his receivers are solid. Like, I'm not going to diss his receivers. DD's a great receiver this Madden. Zay Jones, he's all right. He's 80 overall. He has a young Corey Moody, too, at 75. But I think here, you got to go with the slot man. I rate him actually higher than Carl Drake. You guys love Carl Drake. I'm not as high on Carl Drake as you guys. But I have him taking the slot man. Cole Scott.
Okay.
Cole Scott, let's see where he's projected.
Yeah.
He's a bit down. He's a third round
guy.
projected, early third.
God, yeah.
I love him. I think he, as a slot man, he can go really well with DD and Zay. I think he fits well with Buffalo's offense.
Okay. I have them double dipping here. They were able to get Riddick, and I think they go Chad Sapp to really just completely solidify that front 4 if they decide to go 4-3.
He's a Chad.
What?
He's a Chad.
I know, and that's what the Bills need.
Like, he just needs that one dude. He's just a like a masculine dude. He's just gonna
tables.
set that. Yeah, he's gonna break tables.
He's gonna
crush some Labatt Blues. You know,
he's gonna make them want to shout.
Well,
all the other
Chad
AFC
Sapp.
East virgins versus the DT Chad Sapp, baby.
Next to Ed Oliver, who doesn't stand a chance. Ed Oliver pales in comparison to Chad Sapp. I think they just decided to solidify this defensive line.
I've got Shap going a lot earlier.
Sure.
Pretty sure I had Shap going way earlier.
To yours truly. Well,
Bills.
not me, but
no, I'm sorry. I'm going to the Chargers. My bad.
Yeah,
I thought the Bills there. But I think Will Hull's actually the pick here. I like him better than Cole. I'm not a fan of the speedy 50 slot. I prefer physicality at wide receiver. And I think Will Hull is Will Hull.
Will Hull. Okay.
He's the physical wide receiver out of Kansas. He's 6'5", 220 pounds. He ran a 4.4. He ran a 4.48.40, and he almost took a 40-inch vertical.
His name
And I
looks really nice.
personally, I think he is going to be the guy. If you want a big break table kind of guy, he can be the one doing it from nearly 7 feet in the air.
Mm-hmm. I dig it. Will Hall, yeah, his name just looks really nice on the screen. I could see that on the draft, like that giant jumbotron or whatever, the giant LCD screen. Like Will Hall has the like kind of symmetry with the L's. I like it. I think he will be a great pick and look good in Buffalo blue. Next up, we have the Broncos. Actually, I think they surprised a lot of us. I think I did not expect the Broncos to be
I think they're
anywhere
a one-year
near.
wonder.
They could be. And I think there's still so many good wide receivers left. You guys don't rate Cole Scott as much as I do. I love Cole Scott. I think he's a great dude in the slot. But I think I still have Carl Drake. You had him picked long ago. Another physical dude. I think Drake didn't have. I didn't like his combine that much. I think here though, just in that not Buffalo, the Broncos mile high thin air. He's just gonna just make all the corners just exhausted trying to cover this dude. He's huge. Well, not as huge as Will Hull. Will Hull's just a monster. But this dude's 6'2", but he's physical as all hell. I like him here, especially at 30. If the Broncos get him, they're getting a good receiver.
I have the Broncos trying to protect Cam, already 34, regressing fastly. I think Gunter goes here. Like Josh alluded to, the strength is off the chart. 39 on the bench press. And Juwan James, I think they can move inside to let Gunter work his magic outside and protect Cam.
You had Alvarado go a few picks ago, and
Yes.
I personally think he's the better pick for the Broncos here. If you look at the Broncos, they have Philip Lindsay behind them, and they have Royce Freeman behind. That's their starting duo of running backs. I think what's important for them, and you have to give Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman the space to do what they want to do. They are better when they're not going down the clear path that the offensive line thinks they should take. That sounds really weird, especially making a take about a running back to not follow their blockers. But I think that Alvarado here, he's flexible enough. He can hold the block left or right depending on which way the running backs want to go.
All right, yeah, for sure. O-line's probably a good move for Salsa here. I just had Carl Drake available. You guys really rated him. I had him a little less rated than you guys, but if he wasn't there, I think O-line would be smart here. Next up, we have the third and final Redskins pick. And here I'd probably pick... I don't like very much of the other O-line. Or not, well, yeah, O-line, it's kind of dry. The well's dry. I guess Alex Alvarado's not bad. But, I think end is, like, there's not that many good choices at end, but I think Redskins just need end. And, well, I think Demarius Miller's the better choice. I gotta go with the Homer pick. Wait, is that you guys? That beeps?
I don't know what that beep is.
You can hear it, though, right?
I believe that's my headset.
All right, as long as it's not a recording issue.
Nope, should be all good.
Sounds good. Sorry for the beeps. It's not the pacer test. Yeah, Demarius Miller, I think he's the better specimen. I like him a lot more. But I'm a hometown boy. I'm going to pick the North Dakota State boy, not the quarterback, not either of the quarterbacks. We're going the speed rush out of North Dakota State, out of Minot, Simon Soward. He's going here because I love a good old North Dakota boy. He's just fast for how big he is. He's tall. He's just going to get around you. And he's going to tackle you better than almost anyone else this draft. I like Simon Soward here, even if he's probably not as good as he is projected.
I have them going D-line as well. I think Evan Kincaid out of Notre Dame. Tim's off the board here. He sees things. He's got great play recognition.
Wait, what
He's got
position?
defensive tackle
Tackle, okay.
At Notre Dame.
out of Notre Dame. Yep.
Okay, I see him, yeah. I like
Yeah.
Kincaid. Kincaid's decent.
Good play rec, good pursuit. He can run down running backs pretty well for a defensive tackle. I think that the Redskins just have to start somewhere, essentially all across the board, and I think Kincaid helps them with that a lot.
Well, I've got another guy you guys had going pretty high up. Leaving me kind of throwing darts at the board here. I've got the Tulane speed rusher coming off the board here, named Ron Jones.
Oh, Ron Jones is
Oh,
not falling
wow.
down here, just for the record. Oh, that's
Wow.
another pick.
He's not making a
I
pick for me.
do not see what you guys see in him.
Sure.
He is very agile. His 40-yard kind of concerns me for being a speed rushing end. I've seen run stopping ends with better 40. He has a great vertical jump, but I question what good that'll be on the defensive line. I'm not sure.
Knockdown pass.
I'm not sure where he fits.
Yeah,
But
I like him
I
here. If
think
he's here,
I think if he gets taken here, he has enough height and agility that instead of being speed rushing right in, he'd be speed rushing outside line.
Alright, I'm gonna be real with you here, though. When I was making my mock draft, I almost put him at Redskins' first pick at number 2 overall. He's, I think, that good. I don't think he's as Byron Arnold was just such a priority, but I think him and Beck are so good. Like, I mean, he went to number 6 on mine, but he could go number 2, and I would not blame.
I
Redskins.
obviously need to watch more Tulane game, but I just don't see you guys seeing him.
I like
Best
him
of
a
luck
lot.
to him, but I just don't see it. AKA I didn't have him scouted. So we're on our final.
We
Our
have
final
the
pick.
evil
The
empire
League
themselves.
nemesis. The league
Everyone's been
nemesis.
waiting for this pick.
And unfortunately, I'm just gonna make them a lot better. Unfortunately for the rest of us, they're gonna probably win a 4th because it's Tato, and I'm gonna bring them the Chad. They're getting the Chad.
Ooh.
The rest of us
You
virgins.
can't give the Browns that kind of energy.
I can't, and that's why I'm afraid if Tato actually gets them. Because if they
Yeah.
get Chad, all of us will be the virgins versus the Chad. The Chad Tato. Post
Chad
food
brings
picks that
back.
are always better than yours.
I'm just gonna double check because I swear. All right. Okay, I wanted to make sure, but I'm going defensive tackle as well. I'm going Huggins.
Huggins nice.
Huggins, good strength. They do need some help in the interior. Defensive tackle, run stopper. I mean, the Browns, they just do what they got to do. Honestly, it doesn't matter who they pick here. They'll produce.
I actually have them going wide receiver here. You guys had him going earlier. Mike Kemp, the physical guy out of California.
I actually haven't had him go yet, but yeah, Alex definitely had him.
Sorry, yeah, Alex had him go earlier.
25 to Twinkie.
But
yeah.
Mike Kemp is going to be that big physical wide receiver that I'm not quite sure that the Browns really have. They have Odell Beckham. He's 5'11". They just don't have a guy. They don't have a tall guy, go reach up, grab the ball kind of guy. And I think that's going to help Baker even more.
Oh yeah, he needs the help.
I think that's where you got to go. But as you guys said, no matter what happens, Tater's probably winning the Super Bowl again next.
Like, even if his roster's a lot more like castrated
It's now
than
an 82
before.
overall instead of an 89. To be fair,
But I
The
think
Empire
Chubb is
will
just
not
too
fall
broke. Chubb's
so
broke.
easily.
Baker's broke.
Baker's
You
broke.
serious?
Chubb's broke.
Oh no, Beckham's broken.
Odell Beckham's broke. Miles Garrett is broke.
And it's Tatum.
Literally. Okay. No. I can't have him go Mike Kemp. I cannot have him go Mike Kemp.
Nope.
Instead, I have him taking a linebacker.
Yeah.
Likely Michael Hall.
Okay.
He's a speedy wide receiver with
Linebacker.
Elvis Presley remnant finesse moves.
Wait. What?
Linebacker.
Middle linebacker or
Linebacker. Right outside linebacker. He's from
Right.
Michigan.
All right. Yeah, Michael Hall. No, he has some decent. Yeah, he's so fast. He's so speedy.
Yeah.
I like him.
He can go. I think he's going to be that finesse Melvin Ingram feel that the Chargers had for
He's
like
done.
4 years
I just think
Alright.
before
Hall.
they traded away.
Just looking at him, I think his speed's just his one-trick pony. I don't think he can do much other than be fast.
I
But
I
on
feel
that
like
defense,
the Browns
on
can
that
afford to
defense,
do
Could
that.
work.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's all they need is to do that.
Just be fast. I could see that.
Be fast, create a turnover, win.
Be fast, make pressure.
Yeah.
Don't get Miles Garrett play.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Hey,
pretty much
Oh yeah,
playing
Miles
the Browns
Garrett's
defense.
broke too. I forgot
Run.
about that.
run with your speed, the quarterback into Miles Garrett's waiting arms.
Tater's probably like surprised Pikachu face right now. I can see it.
Yeah.
Love you, Tato.
But
Even though I'm supposed to hate you, I can't hate you, Tato. I love you so much.
you're like Darth Vader after we found out you're our father. We want to hate you, but we
Yeah.
can't.
Now, if you
Alright.
stop sending food pics, that love is gone. You better keep sending food pics, or else.
Food pics are riot.
Yes. All right. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all 32.
I don't know how long this lasted. Let's see if my app. It's almost 2
hour?
hours. Or an hour
What?
45 minutes.
Yeah.
If
Dang.
you guys put up with us, and listen to this whole thing, props to you guys.
Thanks for
Yeah.
listening to
We'll
ramblings
give you a
of
dev
free
bump.
Mad Men.
No death bumps, please.
No dev bump.
No death bumps.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next season.
Or maybe we'll have a bonus podcast somewhere else.
Yeah,
I enjoyed this.
that was fun. I missed this.
Yeah. Maybe a QB podcast. I like the QB podcast.
We
All
can
right.
talk about how great the Jets are. That's always a good topic.
All right. Well,
Sure.
good luck in the draft. Set your
May
board.
everyone but
Set your
Tater
fucking
get
board.
Yeah. Set your board.
Set a board. Set a board. Set a motherfucking board.
Can you cut that and then put it in the beginning?
I don't. Maybe I don't know.
Let's get one of those like soundboard buttons.
Yeah. We should probably remind people because the draft starts tomorrow.
It does start. Okay, so we're gonna have a not very long last scout, but
It'll be decent.
but I'm excited.
Yeah, this is a good one.
All right.
All right, see you
See you
guys.
guys later.